Hello, everybody, and welcome to our second workshop. I'm so glad to have you all here to join us again, or for those who are just joining us for the first time, welcome. I don't know where you are in your day or in your week or in your life, and but just like we talked about with the title of the workshop is finding calm in the storm. And so I imagine there are things in life, stressors that can bombard us, and we can be pulled in a lot of different directions. So I welcome you today into our workshop, a space that we have created and are going to cultivate together to take a pause from whatever is going on and to work on being able to stop and find some places internally to develop or to link to that bring calm or that help us to manage any of those stressors or disturbances so they don't override our ability to handle or to regulate the response that comes with it. So welcome today. My name is Cara Dixon, and I will be leading these workshops. There's 6 of them. And last time I talked about EMDR and gave an overview and followed up with some resources. So if you weren't able to attend, that was recorded and the resources went out. But we did that to set the frame for what this modality is and how it supports dropping into our experience and working through it where there's trauma or where there's emotional pain or a challenge, rather than detaching or avoiding, which sometimes we do just to manage it initially. This creates EMDR creates the opportunity to kind of drop in and process challenges so we don't, our mind, our body, our emotions aren't reliving it, or we're not living in that stress response, so that we can be more focused or attuned or connected in our day-to-day life. So I said in that last workshop that we're just working on one phase in EMDR, which is phase 2. It's our resourcing phase. So we're not doing any kind of trauma reprocessing in these sessions, but simply working to help support and strengthen internal resources to be able to create some safety and grounding, so that as you go through these experiences, you have some tools to manage it differently, or again, to find some calm or safety or grounding in it. So last time we also practiced an exercise. So these workshops are pretty short. So we're dropping in and we're going to practice exercises together. Some of these exercises could go longer and be, worked with more in depth. If any of these exercises are supportive for you, I would encourage you in your own therapy or using other resources, or even just using this video and coming back to it and continuing to practice and develop some of the strategies, that's what we're going to touch on it. And then there's ways that you can continue to work with it and stay connected to it. So I'm not going to do a ton of talking today about EMDR or the resources that we are practicing. What I'm going to do is actually interact and practice the exercises with you. And then I'm going to follow up with a description of what it is and more information, so that you always feel that you have ways to support learning or understanding more about it. Okay, but I really wanted to create the space for us to practice together today. So last time we did the container exercise, And today I wanted to touch on the container exercise and then do some grounding, deep breathing, and then work with an imagery exercise to generate a calm state. So to begin any of the exercises that we do, I encourage you to um, try to get sort of comfortable in your chair the best you can. Um, and again, you may notice, like, wherever you're dropping in from, that your mind, at any time we slow down, it's not uncommon for your mind to keep racing or other things to pop in, and that's okay. We try to drop in non-judgmental of where we are, but simply just to get into the position where we're just simply observing and noticing. So slowing down and maybe noticing a quick thought that popped in, and rather than responding right away, just simply noticing it. And we're going to work on, if it's a disturbance, how to contain it, or if it's just a thought that you want to let pass by. And then we're going to bring a little attention back to just the present moment. In fact, our mind will go forward and it'll go back a lot. And in both those spheres, we don't have a lot of ability to control. We can't control what's happened as much. We don't know the future. So those spaces can generate a lot of anxiety because it's out of our ability to control. And especially if we've had traumatic experiences where things have happened outside of our ability to control. So actually just centering and grounding ourselves in the present moment can be really stabilizing because it is a space that we have control over. So again, the mind is going to keep doing what it does, taking us in different directions, but we have a choice and being able to see if we can gently guide it back into the present moment with a awareness of our breath as an anchor to the present moment and our sensory experience. So I'm going to invite us to just find your breath wherever it is and just take a couple of deep breaths. And again, as we slow down, your mind might be going in different directions, but simply see if you can just guide it back to noticing that sensation of breathing. So you take some deep breaths and see if you can just gently lengthen and deepen that breath. So you might breathe in, hold, and then slowly breathe out in whatever way feels comfortable for you. Breathing in, breathing out. Again, breathing in. Just slowly breathing out. So you'll notice the pace of and the tone of my voice a little slower and softer. And again, as we continue to take another deep breath, just seeing if you can lengthen and deepen the breath. We work together to co-regulate as we come into the present moment. Regulating our experience. And then bringing your attention to the sensation of the ground beneath your feet and perhaps the chair that you're sitting in. Just seeing if you can guide your awareness to that sensation, how the ground and the chair is holding you in this moment. You are here now. You have landed. We are here together. And just seeing if you can, as you continue to take some deep breaths, and bring your awareness into the sensation of the ground beneath your feet. You might even take a deep breath that allows you to just sort of sink a little bit deeper into that space in this moment. Good. So one common phase 2 technique is called a calm state, where again, as we slow down, a lot of things pop into our mind, and sometimes they are real, sometimes they're perceived or imagined, and sometimes can carry some strong emotions with them. So with imagery, we work to allow our mind to generate an image or a place or an adaptive experience. And then we pair our emotional response to that. So noticing how we can shift our emotions. So again, we might, as we check in, notice how we're feeling even before we start this exercise, how you came in, maybe how taking a few deep breaths or getting grounded, how that might have already started to shift your emotional experience. And now we're just going to add to that, again, bringing the mind to a space or a place that it generates that creates safety or calm. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is, in this moment, is identify a place that feels completely or even somewhat peaceful or calm. I would encourage you to, sometimes places can have a lot of associations attached to them. If any of those associations bring about other memories or other emotions that might not feel as calm, I'd encourage you to see if you can create a space that is even more neutral. So for example, it might be a particular memory of a time that generates some other feelings that maybe you're not ready to come to terms with yet. But maybe it's just simply us thinking of the water, or um, or imagining a place that has things that you feel connected to, like a particular sound that is rhythmic and calming, um, or the feeling of a blanket or something you're being wrapped in. So it can be a sense as well. But opening up the mind in this moment and just allowing the brain to see what it brings up for you in your experience, that again links to calm or peacefulness. And we're going to take a couple of minutes to take that thought and embody it, and strengthen it by imagining that you are with that, in that place, or with that sense right now. So taking just a moment to be there, take your mind there, and take a minute to just notice what you see. So using your sensory awareness, just allowing yourself to look around and notice colors, or what you see in that space. Perhaps noticing the lighting. Is it dim or is it bright? Just taking a moment and some deep breaths as you do, allowing yourself to just see what would be in that place. Then breathing in and out, noticing what you hear. What are the sounds in that space? Or sounds that link to calm? Taking a minute and just allowing yourself to listen. Listening if it's loud or if it's soft. If there's a kind of rhythmic sound, just listening. And then another deep breath, just shifting your awareness to sensing what you would sense on your body, the temperature, or again, if it's like something wrapped around you, just taking a minute to kind of notice what that feels like on your body right now. If it's the sun, it might be the warmth on your face, or if it's water, just noticing the coolness or the warmth. In a particular place, you might even imagine what it feels like to be sitting or walking around in that place or lying down. Just letting yourself be there now. Good. And as you spend a few moments in this place or connected to um, that sense that brings calm or a safety, just noticing what emotions you feel. And if it's a pleasant sensation or emotion, noticing where you feel that in your body. Just taking another moment to see if you can allow yourself to enjoy that you're able to feel this way now, even if it's just a little bit more relieved or a little more relaxed, allowing yourself to just notice and enjoy that you're able to experience this now. And if there are other thoughts jumping in or any kind of disturbance or distraction that brings your mind somewhere else, you might consider that container that we created last time. Imagining that you can kind of put that in the container for now and close it and lock it and seal it until you're ready to come to terms with it, and see if you can shift back to that calm space by simply noticing parts of the sensory experience that connect to that space, what you see or what you feel or what you hear, or even some deep breaths, imagining a fragrance or a scent associated with that space. Or if that space is feeling like other things are coming into it still, you might try to make it even safer by using your imagination to create a wall around the space, or maybe even a pathway to a space that feels even safer or more calm. Allowing your brain to take you where it needs to go to make that again as safe or as calm as it needs to be, and creating what would be helpful to support that. And then I want you to imagine drawing a curtain over that space. That space is your space that lives inside of you. It's a space that you can return to at any time, even simply by closing your eyes or bringing yourself to thinking about the sounds or the smells or the way that that space feels in your body. You can be there and spend time there whenever you need to. Um, Again, just like other parts of our experience live inside of us and can bring us in one direction, these parts of our experience also live inside of us. And we can spend time with them and create space for them and generate a calm and a peacefulness when we need to. So, what I'd like you to do is, as you draw a curtain and as you orient back to the space that you're in or the day, if you open your eyes, maybe blink them open. One way that we can just come back is just by taking a stretch, bringing our body into awareness of the present moment again, simply by giving ourselves the opportunity to move it and stretch it and feel that stretch. We can always use our breath again as a kind of anchor to orient us back, and that our breath has been with us in the exercise and is with us now. That can be really stabilizing to think about. And I want to review briefly a way of kind of remembering the exercises that we've done today. So, what I want you to leave with is, if we starting with your feet and your body, just simply noticing again the ground beneath your feet and the kind of firmness beneath you, or that chair that's holding you in this present moment. And I want to think about that as a first step of just bringing your awareness mindfully into the present moment, right? We talked about your mind can go forward and back or have all kinds of distraction, but you can decide what you put your attention on. And so bringing your attention simply to, again, the ground beneath your feet and that sensation in this present moment that you are able to have control over and ground in. And then taking, again, coming to your kind of core, it's the second step, taking some deep breaths. And just wherever your breath is, you can lengthen and deepen that breath and sort of and tie that sort of grounded sensation to your breath, allowing yourself to sink a little bit more deeply into your chair or into the ground. And then we went into our mind and accessed an image or a space that makes us feel safe, which also connects to our emotional experience, right? And we allowed ourselves to embody that and be in that for a little bit today, just for a couple of minutes. But I hope you experience just in these exercises, even a slight shift of, again, maybe feeling a little bit more relaxed or a little bit more in control, maybe a little more relieved from whatever your day is bringing about or something else. But this is demonstrating sort of what it looks like to drop into our internal experience and to strengthen the resources that we have to then guide us forward a little bit differently than if we're just reacting and responding. So thank you so much for joining me today. Again, I will follow up with resources and other ways to strengthen using these exercises and expanding on them. We are trying them, and we're developing. These aren't trying something, we're not masters right away, but we're creating a little bit of space. I thank you for taking a little bit of your time and space to try this, and I encourage you to practice, to keep developing these spaces inside yourself, to support you and strengthen you as you go about your week this week. I will see you next week. I look forward to continuing our workshops together and trying another exercise next week using EMDR. Have a good day. Have a good week. I'll see you next week.